Click on subscribe, click on the bell icon to get notifications from India's smartest channel, TRS Clips. Ms. Seema Anand, how are you?
I'm very good, Ranveer. How are you?
I'm great. This is a dream podcast for me. Before I talk about why it's a dream podcast, I want to introduce you to my audience. So, Ms. Anand is one of the foremost voices, the foremost modern voices on the world of the Kama Sutra. She's one of the world's most renowned authors, narrative practitioners, and mythologists. And today she's on The Ranveer Show.
It's lovely to be over here, Ranveer.
Ma'am, so honestly, I feel like the world of the Indian internet, especially from a youth standpoint, is obsessed with sex and in more modern times, this concept of nofap and celibacy, especially the male audiences. So before we begin talking about those topics, I'd like to ask you how you'd explain the world of the Kama Sutra in the most simple way. How would you explain it to a 20-year-old?
So, interestingly, I've discovered that the Kama Sutra, like you said, if I have to actually explain it in the shortest possible way, Kama Sutra is about pleasure, not about sex. Okay, sex is a very physical act that anybody can indulge in the act of sex. Pleasure is something that only the human mind can actually understand and indulge in. Pleasure is a much longer lasting thing, and it's actually extremely good for you, and it is something that actually takes you to a whole different height. It's supposed to elevate you. It's supposed to make you reach certain heights that you can't otherwise reach.
But what do you mean by height? You mean in terms of human experience?
I mean literally in terms of human experience. I mean in terms of elevating the mind. So this is what it was written for. Vatsyayan, who is the author of the Kama Sutra, actually says this in his introduction. He says that, the idea is, so as we talk about it, we'll talk about how elegant and beautiful and refined this whole world is. It's nothing like we think of the act of sex today. And it talks about this refinement and this beauty in such a way because in ancient times they believed that everything had to start from the point of physical intimacy. So actually, I'm going to give you a little example of it to probably explain it better. Every time a king came to the throne, they would have a version of the Kama Sutra commissioned for their kingdom. So there's not just one Kama Sutra, there are thousands of them. And each time they had it commissioned, they believed that if a couple could share really, really good, mutually pleasurable intimacy, that means that the relationship would be stable. If the relationship was stable, society would be stable. If society was stable, the kingdom would be stable.
Beautiful.
So this was about the bigger picture. It was about, they literally believed back in that time that success in any part of your life, whether you were a warrior, whether you're an economist, whether you're a trader, whatever it is that you did, success in any part of your life depended on your success in your physical, intimate life. And eventually, if the aim is to reach God, all love has to first begin at the physical level before you can start to elevate it. So I guess that's what I mean when I say that, and hence it's not about sex. Because sex, the act of sex is on its own, it doesn't mean very much. It was about pleasure. It was about arousal. It was about desire. Because, of course, in ancient times, again, we believed that the highest form of energy is the sexual energy. I mean, you're a sports person. You know that if you're out there running or doing a certain amount of exercise, it gets your metabolism going. They believe that when you have arousal, when you're in the state of pleasure and elevating pleasure, there is more metabolism in your body than even when you exercise, because every part of your body goes into some form of activity. Your heart rate, right, your breathing, your hormones are being secreted, everything. And eventually, if you consider, this is where, if you carry this pleasure to its final point, this is how you can create life. Only God can create life. So, this was considered the highest form of energy because it's that powerful. hence, this was an extremely important thing in the times gone by.
Beautiful. So, from what I understand, I do feel that physical pleasure was given a lot of importance, but sex as a concept was just a part of the world called physical pleasure.